I went to see Theresa Caputo live in my hometown recently, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think about it, but I really want to hear. This is a massive debate. A lot of people have feelings about the subject, so we're going to keep the comments a safe space. We're not judging anyone for their beliefs. They're allowed to believe in whatever the hell they want, okay? When it comes to psychics, mediums, do you believe in their gift, as they call it? Do you guys believe in that? Have you ever had an experience with that to make you feel a certain way? What are your thoughts on it? Put it in the comments, and we're not attacking others for whatever their belief is, okay? And I'm gonna tell you about mine, okay? Because not only did I see her show live, I also met her, okay? I met her after the show. It was a wild experience. Let me get into it. First of all, if you don't know who Theresa Caputo is, she is a very famous medium from Long Island, I believe it is. She's been famous for a very long time now. Very successful career. I think she started by doing personal readings, but as her career has taken off, she now travels on a tour and does these live shows. There was 4,000 people in the crowd the night that I went in my hometown, and she will walk around the room and do these readings live for 2 hours straight. We're gonna check out a little snippet of one of her personal readings. If you've never seen her work, this is it.
Your son just looked at me and goes, "A complete freak thing that happened on How I Died."
Yes.
What's the blue? So did the boat have blue on it? Was the boat like white and blue? Or
White and blue. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the head though. Did he hit his head?
Mm-hmm.
Our son James, he had gone out to lunch with his partner, with both their boats, and the weather turned. So they got in their boats to bring the boat back home. His brother Matthew called us. He's like, "Dad, James got ejected from the boat and they're looking for his body. They can't find him." He went in the water on May 7th and he was recovered on May 11th. So our son James passed away in May of this year in a boating accident. He's such a good boat handler and he's grew up around the water. So for him to die in 2 to 3 footers, getting ejected from the boat makes no sense. To this day, it doesn't make sense to me.
He says, "I need my mom to know that heaven is for real."
It is. I needed to know that.
She needs to
I need to know that.
I'm gonna cry.
Yep. When James passed, I didn't know where James was, and I questioned heaven. And the fact that he said there's a heaven, and the fact that he's in heaven and he's happy, because that's what I need. I just needed to know that, and I know.
As you can tell, all of her readings are very emotional. That was a very small snippet, okay? But what she does is anything I've ever seen of her, her details are wild, okay? I've always been a skeptic of mediums and stuff. I've never fully believed them. Any TV shows I've watched, I like watching them because I find they're entertaining and they bring the family peace. Even if I never fully believed it, I'm like, well, look at the peace and relief that these loved ones are feeling during this grieving period. I'm gonna be honest, the reason I went to see Theresa Caputo is because Matt's sister invited me to go with her to support her. If you're new here, my partner Matt lost his mom in December, very tragically. So his sister invited me to go. She finds comfort in mediums and psychics, so I wanted to be there to support her. I've never been this massive Theresa fan. I like her stuff, but I wouldn't have gone to the show if his sister didn't invite me. So going into it, I was like, I'm interested because I don't fully believe it. But once I saw it live, you guys, it was like a life-changing experience. Being there live and just realizing, like, I was trying to debunk everything while it was happening because I'm like, how can this be real? But then there's no way that she would know the things she was saying in a room of random people in random seats and then seeing their reactions. Like, it was just surreal. surreal. Like, I didn't want to believe it, but now I'm like, but how? I need the evidence of how they're possibly faking. Like, there's no way. Ow! I just punched the table. Ow, I'm very passionate about this, I guess. In Theresa's opening speech at the show, she was actually very honest about how some people don't believe her, how some people do, how people in the audience that night, they might not believe her. They're there to kind of debunk her and prove her that she's not real. Like, she was very honest about it. So I went online because I was like, I'm curious what people say under videos of her reading. So I have some comments, we're gonna read through them. Saw her live and she picked a person next to me that was definitely not a planted person. She was phenomenal and we were all in tears. She's real for sure. Oh my God, I would literally give my left kidney to be able to attend a show. That is my goal for 2024. If you are wanting to see a show like this live and you have an opportunity, it's an incredible experience to be a part of, honestly. Whether you get read or not, still an incredible thing to witness happening live. It's insane. I don't care if she's legit or not. The peace she is bringing people is what matters, and that is real. I think that is so important, actually, because a lot of people can hate and they're like, you're a fraud, you're a scammer, you're this. Even if, let's say whatever she's doing is fake, for that family or friend or loved one to believe it in their hearts and feel some kind of connection to their passed on loved one, where's the harm in that? Like, seeing the people's reaction live at the show, you guys, I cried for 2 hours. I cried for 2 hours straight. Let me just say that. I'll tell you guys more about the show later, more details, but I cried. I saw her last night and I used to be a skeptic, and now I'm honestly shocked to say it was scary how real it was. That's exactly how I felt, you guys. I'm not kidding. I wasn't a believer. I questioned everything, and now I'm like, ugh, I love her regardless. If you believe in psychics or not, she's helping people. I got read by her at one of her shows. I can tell you this woman is 1000% legit. Mind-boggling. A lot of people want to debunk psychics, and Theresa has gone as far as getting her brain scanned during one of her live readings. There's an entire episode, I think it's on Lifetime, of her brain getting scanned while she's doing a reading, because scientifically the doctors were like, I'm gonna debunk this myself. We're gonna try to prove that she's doing, and yeah, the results were basically that she's gifted. Like, there's nothing there that can explain how she knows these things. Like, it's truly this unexplainable thing, and that's why it's called a gift, I guess. So at my show, there were many signs that you are not allowed to record anything at all, and they had security everywhere. Every section of this huge theater had multiple security guards in the aisles in the front, because if they saw anyone with their phone out, immediately they were asked to leave. Like, you're not allowed to record. However, someone on TikTok recorded a little video of Theresa at the Windsor show that I was at. I don't know if it has much in it, because I think they've altered the voice and stuff like that, but let's check it out.
Every minute, someone leaves this world behind.
That's the show!
We are all in the line.
I was sitting right over there!
It. We never know how many people are ahead of us. We cannot move to the back of the line. We cannot step out of the line.
This was her opening
We cannot avoid the
speech
line.
right now.
So while we wait in line, make moments count. Set priorities. Make time. Share your gifts. Make a nobody feel like a somebody. Make your voice heard. Turn small things into big ones.
I'm surprised they got this video.
Express love. Reconcile.
Oh,
Make
look
peace.
at your selfie. I was
Ensure
sitting
your
right
loved
there.
ones know they are cherished. Live without regrets.
Okay, well, there's some little behind the scenes of the show that I was at, and I found it interesting because I was really hoping to hear from someone who's at the show that actually got read, and someone commented on the video that was read that day. I witnessed this. I recognize her from her photo. She wrote under this video, just came across her video and wanted to say she read me and my mother-in-law at this show, and she was 100% on point. I am still in shock that she came to our family. So thankful. And then the creator, whoever filmed this video, said, "Oh my goodness, that's incredible. You came across this. Your reading with your mother-in-law was so powerful and touching." And I know exactly which reading she's talking about and could not agree more. So basically how it works in these live shows is she has a little introduction on stage. She walks out. It is just her and one cameraman the entire time that follows her around. And then you have people with microphones running and handing out mics to whoever gets picked up in her readings. I don't know the technical terms. So she would literally just like take a second, some stuff would start popping up for her, and it would kind of pull her to an area. Like she could walk to the back and then she'd walk up. Like she doesn't just stay in one area. She literally goes up throughout the whole theater, the floor seats, the back seats, anywhere, wherever she's pulled to. So it would kind of walk her over to this area as she starts saying these things out loud. And then if someone resonates with it, they would raise their hand and just kind of be like, "Oh, I think this is for me," based on what she's saying. And then that, once she's like, okay, and she connects with that person, all these details would come out. And she had this rule that if it showed, like if you were wearing something on your body or she could see it, she said that the spirits, like she won't ever speak about something that's in plain sight. So that was her rule. So let's say you were wearing a shirt or something of theirs and had like a logo or company, like she wouldn't bring up anything that would be considered obvious, I guess you could say. And all these details and seeing people's reactions was insane. It was also very heavy, I will say. I felt almost wrong to know the personal details that were in these stories. She talked about suicide. She talked about horrific accidents, like motorcycle accidents, like train wrecks, like someone was decapitated. Like I'm telling you guys, like there were so many horrific stories in this room, and I was just like we were experiencing the pain and the graphic, and it was heavy. A very, very heavy experience. Even if you weren't read, it was very heavy, very emotional. I won't go through every reading she did because there was quite a bit. She did not read Matt's sister. I don't know if she was hoping for it, honestly. I think she wanted some kind of sign from her mom, from what, I won't go too personal because that's her business, but I think she was hoping a little bit. But I will connect something at the end that happened. From the outside perspective, there were people around me that got read, there were people far away that got read, but all of their reactions, they were stunned. They were mind blown. Like, how does this woman know these specific details that there's no way she could know about it? Some of them happened like 25 years ago. Like these passings and things like that. Like it was crazy, but it was more confirming for me to see the people's reactions, like to see it live. There can't be any editing to this footage. I'm experiencing it live, everything, and they have no reason. There was one woman who was kind of battling with Theresa and just kind of saying like, well, I don't really believe what you're saying to me. I don't really, and she really did have a hard time believing what she was saying until she started bringing in these very specific things that there's no way, and you could see it happening, like to her live. You could see it happening, like, oh my God, like how did you know this? Maybe she is real, but you could tell she had a very hard time in front of the entire room of people because you're on the big screen when you get called out and get a reading. You could tell she had a really hard time, like almost feeding into it and admitting like, she's right, kind of thing. So that was very confirming to me. Obviously, I still have so many questions because how is this even possible? How is this possible? But either way, it was such a crazy perspective and a life-changing experience. So let me get into how we met her. This is actually pretty crazy, you guys. We did not have a meet and greet pass. I don't know how this aligned, but let me tell you. So Megan is Matt's sister. So Matt's dad was coming to pick us up after the show. So we walk over and kind of leave the venue a little bit, like just up the street a little bit, just so we can hop in the car and be on our way. And as we were waiting, I noticed, I'm like, oh, this is like the backstage door. I used to wait here for celebrities to come out, like when I was younger and I'd see shows there. I would wait hours. That's how I met Derek Huff one time, because I waited. And across the street, you could see all the tour buses. So I'm like, I guarantee that's her tour bus. So we're just standing there waiting for our ride. 2 minutes later, they start moving this bus and pulling it up right in front of the door we're waiting for our ride. And I'm like, y'all, I'm telling you, that's her tour bus. And they're like, no way, no way. I'm like, I'm telling you, I used to wait here. I think she's gonna come out this door, but usually they don't come out for like hours after the show. So we're just waiting for our ride. I'm not kidding. We just happened to walk over there waiting for our ride. Out comes the man who I guess is her manager. And he's like, hey guys, if you don't mind, she's gonna be coming out here. If you'll just stay right here in like a line, all we ask is that no autographs and don't ask her for a reading, but she's more than happy to take a selfie or we can take your picture with her. And we were like, at first we're like, oh, this is awkward. Like we weren't trying to meet her or take a picture with her. We're waiting for our ride. But then we're like, oh, okay. And Megan, Matt's sister, is a huge fan because Matt's mother is actually a massive Theresa Caputo fan. And I didn't know this. She used to watch her show all the time for many years, huge fan. That's why Megan also felt connected to her. So it was kind of a weird timing and place that we just so happened to be waiting for a ride in front of this door that she walked out of like within the 3 minutes that we were like waiting for our ride. So Matt's dad pulls up to pick us up and we can see his car and he calls and Megan's like, she's about to walk out. Like, hold on, give us a second. She walks out to the door we're standing next to and is so lovely.
Oh, there's your bag. Right. Nice. We're all do this. I'm just recording. Okay. So cute. Super cute. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. So much. Thank you.
And it was just felt so nice because I could tell it meant a lot to Megan because her mom was such a fan of Theresa that she got to meet her and she just kept saying all night like how happy and excited Matt's mom would have been that we went to that show and we met her, because if she was still here with us, she would have been at that show. 100%. She would have been at that show with us and she would have been there to meet Theresa with us. And it was just this little connection that it just felt close to Michelle, which is Matt's mother's name. It just felt this little like closeness to her. Like it was really special and sweet that we were where we were at the time. We got to meet her. It meant so much to Matt's sister. So I'm very happy I went. I definitely have questions about psychics and mediums, but there is no taking away that live experience and what I witnessed in that room that day. And it was surreal. It was surreal. It was powerful. It really was like this life-changing perspective about everything. It was beautiful, but also very heavy and very emotional. But that is the story. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on either Theresa herself or other psychics and mediums. Like, what is your experience with it? Do you believe it? Do you not? I don't judge either way, but that's my story, you guys. I know you guys wanted more story times, and I thought that was one to share because it was a pretty surreal experience. So I'm out of here though. Stay classy out there, stay sassy, and I'll see you tomorrow.